Take this dam off. Dam. There we go. So that's the dam. That's how it works. Now flip it over. It's pretty good to go a touch higher. So I'll use my little packer that I've had for nearly 15 years. Sits there, holds it at a good height. I want that level. That's pretty close. Now, what I'm going to do, get my FCS holders, my plugs, see how many I've got. Okay, center, 2 centers. Now I need 2 more. I've always got excess here. Center. Rails. No, center. So I need 3 rails. They're all centers. Center. That's all right, because I do a lot of the mouths. And these should be rails here, I imagine. Yep, 1, 2, 3. I kept them in their own bag. 3. Now it's pretty easy doing this. Do the center one first. So these are centers. They got a little C on it. That way and that way. So this fits in here. I'll just do my screws down. There we go. Put that in the middle. That holds it in position. I'll just check it from the front first. That's going to go over a touch. Easy to adjust. You just look at it from the front. That looks pretty good to start off with. Now, I've got my homemade guide. I'm going to go through this later on today. I'm going to do a video on all the things that templates and stuff that I use, that I made myself. You don't have to buy them. Do not buy them. Make them yourself. Costs you a little bit of time, that's it. Now line that up there, put that on the lines. Get my template here. There we go. That looks pretty good. Check it from the front. Beautiful angle. Now do the other side. 2 plugs. Now you're probably wondering why it's sitting in the board. What happens is, I line them up, put the screws in, put the thing on, get them on the right angle. Yep, that's perfect. Make sure they're right. They're both right. And then I lift them out, pour the resin in the hole. FCS had their idea of trying to fill up the plug through the side here, and it was just not good. Okay, it just didn't work out. It's best, easiest, you'll see what I mean when I do it. It saves you a lot of time. It's only because some of the people that designed it weren't fast board makers, you know, they just had an idea. And right, so now I'm just getting my fins sorted out of the angle. That looks good, that looks good. That one's got to come over a touch. Pretty happy with that. Let me check it again. lot of this you do by eye. So I'm looking at the front, centre fin's good, side fin's good. Yep, happy with that. That one's just got to lay over a fraction. They look pretty good. Now the old FCS way of doing it was you had to get a tube and fill it up from the side here. Bad idea. Okay, the best way to do it, and yes, I'm saying best way because it fucking is you fill up the hole like that. It takes bugger all than the other way, okay? Get my bit of resin. There we go. About that much. I never measure stuff, it's all by eye. That's enough. Now, this is the crucial part. Milled fibre, okay? This is where the strength is. It's like turning it into concrete, okay? Then, should have enough white left in here. Yeah, I have. Get a bit of white out of here. There we go. Mix that in. Now we don't want this a hot mix at all. We want it to be a bit slower. So there it is. There's my little squeeze thing for my hardener. That's enough. Okay, you don't want it going off too hot. Otherwise it'll heat up in the board, cause the top of the plugs to swell where it attaches to the deck. Alright, so you give that a good mix, very important. Okay, then you pour it in a hole like this. Okay, now as you know, this goes all the way through to the deck. So the easiest way to fill up this is how I'm doing it right now. You notice it's taken about 15 seconds so far, probably 30 seconds all up, maybe 40 to fill up the hole completely. Now I'm relating back into 1993 when FCS got us to use their plugs first off. We were one of the first people to use them. Now, see how that's filled up all the way through to the deck? That means any concreter would know exactly what I'm doing here. Okay, probably more a concreter than anyone else that fills up formwork. Okay, they'll see what I'm doing. I'm filling up the hole. See the air coming out? All the air is rising because there's no resistance. So all the air is coming out perfectly. When FCS come up with their idea and they wanted you to fill it up around the plug, it just wasn't going to happen because it wasn't injected in. It was just poured in, gravity. That means there were heaps of air pockets, and that's why so many plugs failed, because there were too many air pockets. Right? Now comes the part where this is where it's a lot quicker. Okay? If I was doing it the original FCS way, I would be still filling up the holes. I'm talking fucking days from now. It was really bad. I believe if they would have done this a bit better, they probably would have still been getting used now. Right, so that's in. Okay, see how it's filled it up perfectly? Watch this one. Ready? See how it's coming up around the plug? There's no air. Right? That sits there on that line. On that line. There. See how it all pushed out of it? Watch this. Same thing. See the resin come out? And yes, I still got to top it up a touch, but that's fine. That's not an issue. Okay? I'm going to top up a touch, but the main thing is there's no air. It's all pushed up. And this jig, because I used to stick the fins on a plasticine and hold the jig in place, which was again, this is Stephen Tracy's jig from Acme Finco. So, you know, they've come up with a great idea. Righto, so that's that. You see how all the resin's pushed up? Now, all you do now, get a little bit on your stick, fill up the hole just that last little bit, so you've got plenty to sand. A little bit here, doesn't take much. Here we go. This means when I sand it, I've got no cavity there where it's not enough. See, this one here just needs a touch more, not much, just that little bit there like that. And I'll just go around the other side and put some in, see there? It's not hard to do. This one here, sometimes the plug just, the hole's a bit deeper, or it just, you know, you've got to add a touch more, but it's not much. Okay, the whole inside of this plug area has no air in it, which means maximum strength. The whole idea of it being strong comes from it being plenty of resin there, no air cavities. See that little bit there I have to put a bit in? Come around the back here, drop a little bit over here. Didn't take long. Okay, I check them all. This one needs a touch more. Now, I would have still been filling up this plugs for another at least 5 minutes. Now they're done. Okay, now you just get your finger, wipe off this bit of excess, that drip, or you can use a rag, whatever. Wipe off that excess. You don't leave it on there, otherwise you've got to sand it off. And you don't want to over sand areas. I had to clean my hands anyway. There we go. Now, I'm just checking the angles of the pins now. So I put my head at the front of the board, look at it, left eye, right eye, and I'm telling where I've got to adjust them. This one's got to come back a touch. That one's good. That one's got to come back a touch. It just takes a few, you got a couple of minutes, a few minutes to adjust it. Right, now looking at the center one, yeah, that's perfect. The inside ones. This one, a little bit of an adjustment. Good. So it's going to come back a touch. Right, so now look at that. That's pretty darn good. Double check it. Now just check the angle of the center one. That's not bad. I'll just come that way a fraction, because you've got this little bit of time to adjust it. There we have it. Now look at those. They look good. Side ones look good. This one's going to straighten a fraction. And because there's no air in there, these are going to be very strong. Happy with that. Right, you see how there's no air bubbles coming around here? When FCS had their way of doing it, there was air constantly coming out. It was just a real nightmare. So now there is no air cavities or pockets. It's looking darn good. Happy with that. Now just make sure they're topped up nicely. Prefer to have plenty in there. Only takes a second just to whack that extra bit on here. Because it's the deep concave, it tends to run away from the top a little bit. But this now is full to the brim. There we go. Get rid of that. I'll let that gel. I can walk away. So that's, I do believe if FCS did their install that way, a lot more people would be using it, but you can see that's beyond the Chinese. They would fucking fuck that up in no time. That's why you have the system we have now with the one shot futures and FCS 1s, because FCS 2 to make it easier for the real hopeless Chinese manufacturing. But anyway, that's attached to the deck, as you can see, so that's as strong as. Okay, I'll be back. Now I'm just going to turn off this.